Yeah, I noticed. Maybe those lines that go to training provide us with get a bit wonky from time to time. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so I hit problem dial and it gave me a new number, so that's how I'm here.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. So for this afternoon session, which is a relatively short one, we're going to learn how to assign our employees to the schedule rotations we created in the previous class.
Okay.
So in order to complete this task, we have to, of course, have our employees entered into the system. At the very least, the ones that are going to be assigned to these types of schedules, and we'll have to have our schedule rotations created. Once those things are done, we are going to log on to our web application. And from the Build Schedule menu up top, we're going to select Add Employees to Existing Rotations.
Can I show? Are you showing me that now? Because I have a screen that says it's the can't dial screen.
The what screen? I'm sorry.
It says I hit the I couldn't dial in, so they gave me this other screen, and it's gave me the phone number that I called. So now I'm trying to find where you were at. I went to go to training, and it doesn't. I don't see where you're at.
Yes, I am showing my screen. So although you're dialed into the session, did you click on the link that was provided in the email when you signed up for this class?
Yes. And that's how I got the 510 number. I tried that, didn't work. So there was a button that said click problem dialing in. I clicked it. It took me to another screen, gave me this phone number, called it, put in the numbers, and now I'm here. Now it says go to training, connected to go training, but it's not the thing that you have, that I usually see. Disregard, I might have got it up. Is it you got the screen up where it says build schedule?
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so from the build schedule menu, we will select Add Employees to Existing Rotation. At the very top, we're going to establish the dates for which we want to assign our employees.
Hold on a second. It keeps clicking me off. I'm going to get mad. All right, I'm sorry. Add employees to existing rotation, and then what?
We're going to set the dates for which you want to assign your employees. Now, for my example, I'm going to assign them for an entire year. And depending on if you reassign employees due to schedule bids, you might be able to extend that further. So if you can get away with building your schedule out for 2 or 3 years, that would be great. It's just less work for you to do every year.
Our schedules change every year, though, for us.
Okay. So then it sounds like you'll only be able to build it 1 year at a time.
Yes.
We're going to skip the option section for the time being, and we're going to move on to select employees. We're going to choose which employees we'd like to assign to a schedule. When I click on select employees, I'm going to see a list of everyone in my department, which is just 44 employees. Now you can choose to assign everyone at once, Or you can use group filtering just to focus on a particular group. I'll use Squad B in my example. So once I type in the group and click on the Enter button, that will filter out everyone else, leaving me with the 5 employees I have in that particular group. And I can either hand pick the people I want to assign, or I can use the All button to do the entire group.
Okay.
Let's click on the Select button at the bottom of the screen. You'll see your employees listed, and through the 4 columns, they should all be blank. Mine are not blank because these employees have been assigned in prior training classes. But it is the rotation column you're going to focus on. You are going to use the drop-down list to select which schedule rotation that employee should be assigned to. We're going to click on the Build Schedule at the bottom, and then we'll talk about some additional features or functions that can be performed within this window. But for now, let's click on the Build Schedule menu, and you'll get an idea for how long this process will take.
So once I put all the squad, like Squad B in there, then I hit Build, Build Schedule at the bottom.
Build Schedule at the very bottom. So in this section where we saw our employees listed, you noticed 3 other columns. As you move forward with your schedule build, you will learn how to create job assignments. Job assignments can be used to indicate where a particular person is working, like a post. It could also be used to indicate a certain type of work status. And you'll get an idea of what types of jobs you may end up seeing in your department. Here I use zones, but I also have job assignments like field training officer, officer in charge, and some of which you may decide to use in your own scheduling system. Now, the reason why we show you this here is in the event that you have an employee who is going to be assigned to a steady post throughout their schedule, and I built mine for 2017. What I would be doing is placing that employee in that job on every workday within that calendar year. I would have the flexibility of moving them out of that job in the event they call out sick or there's some sort of reassignment. But we do allow you to apply that steady post at this time if it fits.
Okay.
The next 2 columns allow you to set customized work times for that particular employee. And I'd like to use administration perhaps as an example. I might have a handful of people working administration Monday through Friday. But this employee might work from 7 to 3. This one might work 8 to 1600. And this one from 9 to 5. So even though these employees work the same days, and they all work the same administrative shift, their hours might vary. Now, this should only be used for employees that work steady shifts. So if you have employees that are rotating between a day, afternoon, or midnight shift, you do not want to use these adjustments because it will adjust every shift within that rotation to those hours. So whether they're working days, afternoons, or midnights in that rotation during that time frame, they will always be shown as working 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., which you don't want.
So it really only works for a, like, admin, like if the chief comes in 7 to 3 and the lieutenants come in 8 to 4.
That is correct, because they are working steady shifts.
Right.
So we would never have to be concerned with those hours being adjusted on a night shift. And, you know, on a patrol-based schedule, you probably don't have many instances where people are working outside of those times, you know.
Right.
Now, I mentioned earlier the options section. This is going to be important when you extend your schedules for the next year. And it's also important whenever you are moving somebody, perhaps mid-year. So you have three options: delete schedule entries, delete day off, update employee profile. What this means is, using the dates I have above as our example, if I have delete schedule entries checked, any new schedules you build will overwrite any old base schedule. So let's say you built your schedules for 2017 and you made a mistake. You had to end up correcting one of your rotations, and now you're going to reassign the employee to the correct schedule. You'll want to make sure that this option is checked, which it is by default, and what it will do is it will replace any old schedule that we had for these 5 people with whatever new schedule you apply.
All right. So that would be like if I'm moving a guy from Squad A to Squad C, I would make sure I want to have that checked.
That's right. And in fact, the next checkbox may also be relevant to the example you just gave. Delete days off, which by default is unchecked, means that if for the period of time you are reassigning someone, if the application sees time off on the schedule, it will transfer that time off onto the new schedule that you just assigned. Your option is to delete any time off entries, but we always make the assumption that if I had a day off granted on a particular day, maybe I was working the day shift, and then you were reassigned me where now I'm working the night shift, the day off may have to get carried on to that new shift.
Or how about this? How about I have you on Squad A, and I'm moving you to Squad C, which is a totally different rotation, and I have to delete like 5 vacation days because on your other shift you had 5 off, but you're actually off those days because you're on the other side.
So if you, great question. So if you reassign an employee and they have a day off on the schedule, but that is now going to be a regular day off, the day off entry will be removed and the time off will be credited back to the employee.
Without having that box check, it'll do it automatic?
It will do that automatically. The only thing this is doing is wiping out any days off that it finds between the dates that you have set up top.
All right, so I don't want that then.
Yeah, normally we would leave that unchecked, which is the default.
All right.
The last checkbox is marked Update Employee Profile. What this does is this takes the rotation that you just assigned to the employee and stores it in the profile so that when we look to extend the schedules for an additional year, it knows the last rotation they had been assigned to. So towards the end of this year, you may choose to start building your schedules for 2018. You're going to use the same screen, add employees to existing rotation, choose your dates, select your employees, and this time I will choose all 44.
So I can
Even though I know people are going to be reassigned.
Right, so really when I do this the first time, I can actually pick all the employees and just put them on the shifts they're supposed to be on.
Exactly, because for each one you get to choose what rotation they're on. Now, as you can see, some of those employees already have rotations in that menu because we took that information from their profile because it was saved in there. Now, if I have people that are moving, I can change them. Until I have, or once rather, I have everyone in their rotation, I can now click on the Build Schedule menu. Okay, that's it for assigning employees to rotations. Are there any questions on this particular screen?
Not.
Yeah, it's not so bad, right?
It's pretty simple. That one is.
Yeah.
The building of the schedules yesterday wasn't the greatest, but
are the patterns?
it's kind of confusing. If you don't think about it, it's not confusing. But if you overthink it, it's confusing.
That's right. Yeah. No. You have a good
point. The guy
point.
yesterday built it for me, so it was good.
Oh, nice.
It was just me in the class, so.
Oh, nice. That's always nice when you get one of those where it's just you. For the basic schedule build, everyone sort of has to go through the same steps, though. But sometimes it is nice to be able to focus in on things when they're a little unique to your department.
Can I ask you a question while we're here then? Since, just say, the schedule's up and running and I want to move a guy today from an A shift to a B shift. So the starting date would be today up there in the left corner. Take him to whenever, maybe it's October, and do it that way.
Yes, so what I like this screen the best for is building new schedules year to year. But you'll notice under the Build Schedule menu, you also have an option to reassign employees.
So it's better to go there for that?
I do, because sometimes it's not just about moving someone to a new schedule rotation. Sometimes you're moving them to a new group. So I'll take an example here. Maybe I want to reassign someone, but only for a period of time, maybe from July until the end of the year. I can choose the person I want to reassign, the schedule rotation that they're being moved to, and a new group assignment, because that employee may have been originally a member of Squad A or B.
Gotcha.
So I took care of the rotation, but this gives me the added ability to change their group assignment, which can be important. Over to the right, you can specify jobs, and you can even adjust work times if that's applicable. So using this screen allows you to perform both the schedule reassignment as well as the group reassignment.
Okay.
Now, do most of your employees switch around from year to year?
Yes. Only the sergeants stay. Only the sergeants stay on their same squad forever. If sergeant is squad A, he'll be that until he retires. But the guys underneath him switch. They may go to C. Who knows? It's like the chief reassigns those guys every year.
Okay. Right. Any other questions on assigning employees to rotations?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Well, that's it for this class. Now, looking ahead to some of the additional basic setup classes, you're going to learn how to create the day off and overtime reason codes. You're going to learn how to set up your minimum staffing requirements. And you're going to learn how to create login IDs and how to assign your employees to their security privileges. So if you have not done so already, I would recommend signing up for the additional basic setup classes. And we have...
I have it on Tuesday, May 9th.
Awesome. So yeah, we have...
and then I have set up user profile right after that.
Great. And Basic 7 is the last class in this particular category. My recommendation to you would be, once you have completed Class 7, to sign up for a help out session, which would serve as a data review. Just sort of allows us, that time to go in and take a look at your build, allows us to offer any, suggestions we might have for getting the most out of what you've done. And it also helps us guide you towards the next group of training classes.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, very good.
All right. Well, that's it for me. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you at the next class.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.